I forgot. Hold on a second. I forgot my Fuji Tech. Whoop. Not Fuji Tech. Give me a second to switch this. There we go. I know. One way to start stream. Forgetting to put your PNG reactor up. Whoops. Anyways, hello and welcome, my fellow warriors, friends. I, your favorite halfling little dragon. Francis and my fellow adventurers and protector. Really, RPG? Let me finish the introduction, please. Protector of all. All right, RPG, this is for you. Arara. All right. Anywho, we got a new streamer friend here named Murph. I don't know how to pronounce their full name, but we're gonna let them introduce themselves. So let's go ahead and see if they're ready. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you, Chaya? How is everyone feeling tonight?
I'm feeling all right, except I forgot to put my PG reactor in.
Oh,
Yeah, one way to start stream, huh?
it do in fact be like that.
All right. Uh, Murph, if that's okay if I call you that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hello? Is it
Uh,
alright that I call you Chaya?
yeah, or you can call me Chai. Just don't call me emergency food.
Yeah, that is exclusively Paimon's decorum.
Yes. But let's continue on. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your background, please, and thank you?
Absolutely, absolutely. My name is Murpheus Everyone can just call me Murph. I like to keep it a little casual. I'm an illusionist from the planet of Lacrosia, and I stream a variety of different story-based games over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Murpheus And I like to share all of those games and stories with other people, and have people share games and stories that they really enjoy.
Ah, very nice, very nice. And welcome, Draco. But for a fair warning, of course, you know I'm going to be asking these questions along with some mixing around and different types of questions as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, first off, who inspired you to be a streamer?
Oh, there were several people who inspired me to become a VTuber, or to really just get into the content creation. I suppose game could be a correct word for it. In general, I'd say Medi, not the bad guy. For those who are familiar with his YouTube franchise, going over different characters, kind of going into like a deep dive into different character motivations and styles. Manly badass hero, famous popular Let's Player on YouTube as well. Also Mori Calliope and Ninomai Inanis from Hololive 5th Generation.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say those four definitely serve as strong pillars for what really inspired me to want to. Oh, also Vati Vidya. He does a lot of really good Dark Souls lore content. I just love digging into different stories.
It seems like everyone does as well, depending on the game and the storyline.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And as for myself, well, let's just say a dear friend, inspired me to become a streamer, all thanks to them. Because at first I was like, should I do it or do it? Should I not do it? And well, here I am.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the journey starts with a single bold step. Whether you're ready for it or not, you take the step, you push forward, and over time, you sort of find your way as you go.
Right. And here is another question. Um, when you first started streaming, were you like a face camera, a PNG, a VTuber, with a 2D model, or a Vroid? Which did you start out
Okay.
first?
Well, coming from a background that was unfamiliar with the VTuber boom until like probably the beginning of the pandemic. I had mostly been exposed, excuse me, to uh, live 2D. So when I first got into it, I wasn't too familiar with Vroid or PNG, um, but I did have this bat commission, this cute little bat plushie you guys are all seeing right now, Fred. And I actually began my adventure with him. He's been at my side the entire time as a faithful companion before I've been using my current model.
And I say it's adorable.
I love him to death. He's a good little floof.
Oh, and does your little buddy have a name?
Yes, Fred.
Fred.
Yep, Fred the friend.
Oh, I mean, it kind of fits.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. I was debating on something more, say, cultured, like maybe like a Lucilius, but I was like, nah, he's a good little guy.
Aw. Let's see here. What else? Uh, Here is another question. What is the most exciting project you're currently working on, or is there any project you're planning on working on?
Okay, most exciting project. Well, as far as most exciting future projects, I'd have to say, for those familiar with the TTRPG and card game anime space, Perfect Draw recently released its book, really,
Hmm.
and it's kind of a mix of like it's basically D&D for people who enjoy card game shows like the old school Yu-Gi-Oh or Shadow vs Flame or Cardfight Vanguard. And because it's recently released all this material, I've been excited to get a group going and stream our adventures together as myself playing at the role of a dungeon master or game master or what have you, helping several players kind of explore their characters, overcome different trials and tribulations, and grow into not just stronger card fighters, but also stronger people who overcome different challenges and help make the world a better place than when they left it.
Hmm. That does sound very interesting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to potentially host a little bit further on, but like come this October, I'm hoping to host the second annual Kamifuda tournament for a small card game that's it deserves a good bit of love, but uh, I feel has not. Perhaps it's a good tactical card game.
Care to explain what it is, if you like?
Absolutely. So Kamifuda is a game on Steam that follows, I believe, college age students. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a visual novel game that follows someone who is just tapped into their eldritch powers as sort of a witcher wizard. And
Hmm.
it's sort of like if you took the premise of Harry Potter, but you made it a little bit, say, darker with kind of an eldritch touch to it. And you're learning this magical card game to help learn to harness and control your powers so that you aren't at risk of hurting those around you.
All
And it's
right.
a really cool heartfelt game where it's about connecting with other characters and learning about the importance of relationships like say your personas or other visual novel style games.
Hmm. Well, that does seem interesting. I may have to look into that in the near future.
Absolutely recommended. After the game came out shortly, one project I worked on was I actually uploaded and worked with the dev team a little bit to actually have all of the cards in their database uploaded to websites like untap.in and Tabletop Simulator so that you can actually play Kamifuda with another player because Kamifuda, the Steam game, visual novel, is a single player game only. It doesn't have lobbies or matchmaking.
Hmm. So you're saying that sorry if I butchers wrong, but what was it again? I'm not good with the names of it, and I do apologize.
That's completely fair. It's called Kami Food. I can type it out in chat for you.
Okay,
Um,
I'll just say Kami.
but
How's that?
absolutely, you could also just call it Hanafuda, which is a real thing, like flower card reading.
Okay, but yes, for the Kami card games, you said this could be on the tabletop game system, right?
Yes, for those who have Tabletop Simulator on Steam or through Steam Remote Play or what's the portable Steam device? I can't remember what it's called. But yes, you can play it on Steam through Tabletop Simulator. I made a mod for it, both a table that has you manually do everything and a table with some assistance from Nis from Fiverr,
Huh.
someone who's really good at coding. It actually has some automated buttons there for automatically drawing cards and keeping certain zones secretive to other players.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct, Kua. Steam Deck.
All right. Another question. What do you call your community?
Yes. So I actually call my community, or I affectionately refer to them as my fireflies.
Aw.
Yeah. As something of a nighttime storyteller VTuber, part of my branding, part of what I imagine we're going on, probably not too dissimilar from you and your followers, is the idea that we're on this grand journey together through a long, cold night, and we're kind of lighting each other's way. Where
Aw.
when they're lost, I lead the way, and when I'm lost, they lead the way with their little flickering light off in the distance.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. For me, I just call mine warriors and adventurers.
Mm.
And you're probably,
Very bold.
yeah, you're probably wondering why, huh?
Well, I imagine it might have something to do with maybe you're all in one big guild together, working together and championing the fight together.
Kind of. But for the viewers who join my Discord and stuff, they're the adventurers. But if they ever start about thinking of streaming or becoming a VTuber, if they're comfortable, what they're doing and stuff, then they become a warrior.
Ooh,
Mhm.
okay. Sort of like a rank up system, if you will.
Right.
I like it.
So basically, I have some friends who are warriors that are streamers, and some friends who are just viewers are adventurers.
Mm. Excellent, excellent.
No, Flame, you're just a chaos being.
we all need a chaos bean. Come on now.
I got too many.
True, true. Otherwise, we just rock the whole ship and it falls overboard. But something to offer a bit of brevity, a little bit of an extra additional flavor, if you will, at certain times.
All right.
Keep things interesting.
It is true. That is true. But also, here is another question. Can you share your memorable experience or story related to your streaming and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So I've said before, I stream games only when I feel that they have, unless it's just the fun odd card game or Souls like, because I'm a big Souls head card game enjoyer. But generally, I like to stream games where I feel there's a good story. There's a story that deserves to be told, deserves to be shared. Because something I think that's really powerful about the medium of video games is how you immerse yourself, how you experience the lives and lessons, the trials and tribulations of those characters. You connect with them. You have takeaways for to bring strength into your normal everyday.
Right?
So one of my greatest experiences was some of my viewers, some of my fireflies, they suggested I play a game by the name of Celeste. For those who are familiar, it was a very emotional roller coaster of a game, a very simple platformer game. And when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, this seems neat. I'll see what it's about. But over the course of its like little bits of sparse storytelling, there was like a connection and a journey. And by the end of it, I basically played everything there was in the game. And afterwards, I was like, holy cow, this was an adventure. And I felt really proud of both how difficult the game was, but how rewarding it was to push through with everyone sort of cheering me on, and we climbed Mount Celeste together.
Right. And with some games I play, because for you've probably seen people play 14 Final Fantasy and a
Yes.
few other Final Fantasy games. Because
Yes.
with the expansion of 14, people play ARR, A Realms Reborn. Then they're like, ugh, this is getting complicated. When's the good part come out? So sometimes people play it through or they do the story skip by paying all that kind of stuff to skip the story. But
Yeah.
yet, you have to experience it first before you get into the main story, which is Heavensward. And from my
Mm.
perspective, Heavensward and Shadowbringers is amazing. But I got into Endwalker last week. But yes, and I see what you're saying. If you play the game right and your cards as well, you will understand the story. And yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
All right. Here is another question.
Okay, I'm
What
excited.
challenge? Take your time. You want me to go ahead and ask it for you, Murph?
Oh, no, I was just saying I'm excited. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I think you said take a second or whatever.
No, no, no.
Okay. What challenges have you faced in your career and how did you overcome them when you became a streamer?
Hmm. That's a very heavy and deep question. That's kind of at the heart of I want to say every content creator's journey. For me, it was I'd have to say the biggest thing was motivation because I'm kind of more of a quieter, kind of keep to his own, a little hermetic sort, I'd say. Um, and on one hand, I want to be bold, I want to be explosive, I want to do cool things, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head that tells you you can't do it, or like, don't hedge your bets too much, kind of a thing.
Right.
And learning to sort of like kind of try and push past that little by little, because it's about your comfort zone. It's about expanding your comfort zone. Um, and saying to yourself and celebrating the little victories and saying it's okay if it's not a goal, it's a process. It's about understanding that we might have goals. It's important to have goals. Absolutely. But it's more important to make these little steps because that's how we level up. That's how we explore the journey. That's how we find what we're really in tune with, what we do enjoy and what we don't enjoy. And it's important to find those things because if you don't, then you're going to struggle. You
Right.
need to find what you enjoy and really hone in on those elements. So you can share that enjoyment with your viewers, with your audience, and hold to that so that when those audience members who connect and enjoy those things find you, you have a home for them.
Right. And I told one person who interviewed me about this, and I told him the trick I taught myself. And for people who wants to become streamers or still learning, and for people who are face cameras and show themselves, I this is nothing bad or anything, but I don't know how to say the word and stuff, but I'm just glad they're doing it. To be honest, I give them my full support when they do that. To be
Mm,
honest,
yeah,
yeah, because they're a lot braver than we are.
absolutely, absolutely. It's from my time on Earth, it seems like things can be great, but things can also be really scary sometimes too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and Murph, you want to know that trick I taught myself and stuff?
Absolutely, please share.
Okay, for me, and well, my real life form, I am a cosplayer as well.
Ooh.
Mhm. Back when I was like a almost a full grown halfling, and yet I was still young. I didn't
Mm,
know what cosplaying was, but when I looked into it and everything, I'm like, okay, this will be fun and all that kind of thing.
yeah.
So I went to the cosplay convention. Then I was like freaking out, panicking, and I ran straight to the room,
Hmm.
because I was like, okay, what to do, what to do. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Then it came to me, if you're a cosplayer or a streamer, think of this like you're role playing when you put that,
Ooh.
yeah, because if you put the persona, your feelings, and everything into that one character you're cosplaying as, or as your VTuber model, or anything you can be, focus on that. Then
Mm.
you won't hear the voices in the back of your head, like that tiny voice you said. So if you focus on your persona or the character you're cosplaying as, you're thinking to yourself, okay, what would they sound like? How would they act? And what would their personality be? And there you go.
Mm. That's excellent. That's a good way to get in character and just kind of like let the you behind the mask kind of slowly melt away so you can inhabit your new form and really take to it.
Right.
That's excellent.
Hmm. Okay, here is another question. How do you
Okay.
say motive and uh sorry, my English is not very good even though I was born here.
English is a bit of a mixed language. Please go on.
Let's just say, how do you stay motivated? And basically what I'm trying to say is productive.
Okay. How do I stay motivated and productive?
Hmm.
Well, I understand that it's important to take a breather when you need to. But aside from that, it's about remembering why I started as a VTuber to begin with. It's about going back to basics, reading my notes, reading my feelings about before I streamed, when I started streaming, going back to those feelings and revisiting them have inspired me time and time again, have rekindled that flame bit by bit so it doesn't peter out because it's important to understand why you got into it in the first place, compare your notes to where you've been and where you are now, and to sort of just kind of get back into that because I wanted to get into streaming to share these stories. And I have viewers now who enjoy my content. We're not going to be the biggest community, but we're a heartfelt community. We support each other. And I'm excited to continue to share those stories because we're all together. And I want to honor those viewers, those people who do still tune in, those people who do find meaning and enjoyment in what I provide. And I want to continue to do that for years to come. It's about remembering where I came from, where I want to be, and appreciating everything along the way and trying to remember that because it can be so easy to forget those things in our day to day between our job or all of our different responsibilities and be like, why am I doing this? Well, sometimes to answer that, you have to go back and look at why did I start doing this and kind of reignite that flame, so to speak, to get back in touch with where you want to be, where you are, and just looking back and saying, man, I've come this far.
So basically, in other terms, there's no going back then, huh?
Yeah, no, it's too late for me. They've got me.
Oh, and thank you for patting my horns, Kodiak. Thank you.
Ooh,
Yes, the horns are the ones that you can see on the side. They're kind of like my ears, sort of.
cute, cute.
I am not cute.
I was talking about the ears, but
Uh,
hmm.
okay, another question.
Yes.
If you would want to or not, but that is up to you.
Mm,
Would you like to share any lessons you learned from your failures and mistakes?
lessons from failures and mistakes. I'd say the biggest thing that I've learned from my journey of streaming for I want to say over 2 years now
Dang,
is yeah, it's I know, right?
that's
Uh,
still a young one.
I mean, we all start somewhere, and yeah, honestly, I feel like you're off to a very good start with where you are right now.
Yeah, I
Um,
started back in February of 2023.
yeah, I think I started back in 2022. I think my first stream was back in January of that year. So, yeah,
Huh,
2 years over.
dang.
Yeah, slow and
And
steady content. But
And
yes, back to your.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. But of course, I have been mostly just a follower, and you'd be surprised about this, but this account I had is 8 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just started being a viewer back in April 26, 2015.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wowee. That's quite a time to be watching.
Yeah. And plus, I haven't been on it much for real life stuff going on and everything else. And of course, my friend was telling me about Twitch and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give it one more try.
Hmm.
So then,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right.
And it seems like it's taken you here now.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, excellent.
And
But yes, going back to your question, actually, you not just mosey around it. Uh, what have I done to not what have I done?
uh,
Um,
it was something,
it was
uh, what was it?
it was about my failures, I
Or
think.
mistake. Yeah.
Yes, yes. How have I coped with them, I think.
Like what I said, it's your choice if you want to and stuff, but it's it's just that if you would like to share any lessons you learned from your failure or mistake.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, Kua.
Hmm.
I would say I think that's a very important question to address. I think it would be remiss of me not to. But I feel like the biggest thing as a content creator is number one, be your own biggest cheerleader. You have to like your own content. You have to enjoy making your content. You have to enjoy doing your content. But number two, I would say don't beat yourself up. Don't look at someone else and say, "Oh, look at what they're doing. Look at where I am. I'm never going to be there." And if you think that way, you're going to end up hurting yourself both in the moment and long term because you're going to stifle yourself. You're going to think, what's the point? When what you should be thinking is, okay, I did this. It's more about experiencing the journey, taking one step at a time and enjoying the ride and doing it with your community and building up that sense of community. A big thing for me was expectation. Um, being excited to do things, and then things maybe weren't as exuberant as I expected, but that's okay because I have to be my biggest cheerleader. I have to be the one at the forefront saying, "Rah rah shish kumbah. Here's a cool thing I'm doing. If you guys are into it, come join me and let's have a good time."
Right?
Um, yeah,
And Kodiak, it's fine. You're more than welcome to ask any questions, but it has to be questions towards the streamer we're interviewing, which is Murph here.
absolutely.
Hmm.
I do believe their question also pertained to. Oh, it was just a question. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I had, like I said, I have the redeem where chat can ask you questions and I can read it off to you.
Excellent, excellent. I'm more than happy to answer.
Hmm. Okay, here is another question. How do you stay updated and informed about your new developments in your field?
How do I stay updated? Mostly through friends. I check social media every now and again. Social media is a useful tool for keeping up with trends and fads, but it is one of those things where I am a little concerned about, as someone who has been a serial Redditor before. Uh, the infinite scroll is a black hole that I do not want to lose myself to again.
Seems like anybody doesn't.
Yeah, it's all too easy to have fun and be like, "Oh, that's such a good fun post on X or Twitter or whatever it is now," and then to be like, "Let me go check the next post," and it's been 3 hours, and you're like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, it's like you're in bed, laid down, and of course you're like, okay, I'm done looking. Let me just put my phone down or get off the computer, whichever. Then you're like, 2 hours later, fuck it, we're getting the phone back to look.
Yup. Or even like you're like you put it down for a minute, you're like, "Huh, that was good," and then 20 minutes later, you're like, "Wait, how am I still on this? I thought I put you down."
Right? And let's just say, for example, even if it's about what, 9 something p.m. EST time or whatever, then you're like, okay, I'm done reading this. I need to go to bed. And when you put it down and stuff, you look, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, what the seven hells?
Yeah. Oh man, the content feed is it's so fun to go down the rabbit hole, but it at a certain point you're like I need to eat, I need to go do other things. It's
Right? But you also want to see what's happening. Sometimes there's like good positive vibes going on, along with a few other things. But yeah, it's like, oh, I need to
yeah,
do this. But it's almost like a soap opera on
yeah.
your phone.
It's the fear of missing out, and that's because we're always online and because of different time zones, someone's always available depending on how many languages you speak or where you go. But yeah,
Right?
it's there's always the fear of missing out, and it keeps us on, and it keeps us scrolling, and we keep adding new things, and it's cool because we get to see how different people can remix and share ideas, or even just the same meme, whether it gives us a chuckle or it's a remix of it. But it's both really cool, but also there's a point of I need to stop and know where my line is. I need to know when this is a little too much.
Right? And every time when you scroll through any app, whatever you use, there is a bottomless page. There's no
Mhm.
ending.
Scroll for the ad gods.
Right?
Oh man.
Oh, goodness. Okay,
Uh,
next question. How do you balance your personal life with your professional life of being a streamer?
okay, how do I balance my professional life and my personal life? Well, honestly, the biggest thing is I don't like to talk too much about my uh streaming life outside of streaming because I feel like there's always this concern of like, if they're into it, yeah, I'll share about it. Like my sister asks me about how stream goes and things like that. How's it going? Maybe she'll ask about what the stream was about or whatever. But I there's a general concern in me of hey, I do this thing. It doesn't have to be everything I am.
Right?
And it makes it very daunting for another person to talk to you if you are only ever that one thing because they know that when they talk to you it's only ever going to be about that thing and that's very intense. um so I'm not sure I can offer advice on how to keep it separate outside of just taking little steps and trying to kind of just keep them separate. Like you can take certain lessons from both and apply them to the other because you can learn lessons in either field, professionally or personally. But just try not to get them overlapped too much because otherwise, like, you just kind of get sucked into one. There has to be some kind of balance. I know that some people suggest taking a nap after work to kind of mentally reset and have a mental divide between when you're working your day job and when you're streaming at night. I know that is some very good advice that I've heard because it works with psychology. Um, but generally for me, it's just try not to talk about streaming, even though it's a big
Sorry.
thing in my life, and don't try to talk too much about personal stuff on stream. Like I'll share a bit, but it doesn't have to be like my most intimate moments because that's not what everyone's here for. We're here to have a good time.
Thank you, Kodiak. I was ready to say, hold on a moment, I'm going to sneeze, and then it just happened.
I'm so sorry I talked over
It's
that. God
okay.
bless you.
It's okay. Thank you. For me, with my personal life and professional life, for being a streamer and all, for me, I try to keep it in between at times. And when people ask how my life is going, I usually say back at my hometown sometime is Ishgard, or
Mm,
with my family members, I say um, the high members or just members and stuff.
mm,
And of course, when I had a job to do, I usually say I have to tend to the MSQ. But if it's nothing important or whatsoever, then I say I have to tend to my side quest.
mm.
Mhm.
Clever, clever. That's kind of a cute way to kind of like say something without divulging too much. It's a fun kind of play on words kind of deal. I get you. That's
Right.
cool.
So that's how I try to keep my personal and professional life and stuff. But of course,
Yeah.
people know I am with my sister here in Gridania. But yes, of course, they already see my sister's character, but it's different and stuff. And I usually
Mm,
either say her partner or her wife,
yeah.
but I don't give out full names and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, if they want to know about my sister, I use the name Lamina because that's the other one in my game I play. It's named Lamina.
Ooh, okay.
Hmm. But yeah, and for my sister's wife, I just call her the wife or the partner.
Excellent, excellent. Because that's all they really need to know. They don't need to know like names and birthdays or anything.
Well, some do know my birthday, and of course, when they ask how old I am, I like to say I'm 320 years old.
Hmm.
Hmm. And of course, when my birthday comes up, I will be 330. Well,
Wow.
330 years old. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Hmm. All right. Let's see what questions we have. If you would like, this is up to you, but would you like to share any success? Sorry, English.
Hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Successful stories.
Successful stories. Successful stories. Hmm. Stories of success. Um, I'm not sure how we define success in this context.
Well, for being a streamer, like, do you have any success stories that you have done when you start streaming or that kind of thing?
Yeah, I usually don't try to have benchmarks like hitting a viewer count or like hitting a certain number of hours. So like usually I don't like try to gauge success that way. Usually I try to gauge success in like I guess I'd say one of my big successes was I hosted a big tournament. Well, I hosted a small tournament last year for Kami Fuda. I have I streamed to yeah, like Kua said, it's little victories more so than anything.
Right.
Um, hosting an event, playing with viewers on stream with Yu-Gi-Oh, having a lot of fun, and clearing different story games. I'd say each story game that we complete is another small success. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have any big benchmarks that I usually set for myself when it comes to streaming.
And of course, for myself, when I got an affiliated, I posted on Twitter, of course, thanking everyone for helping me get this far and stuff. And then, of course, I did another thing where I reached 300 followers. And for the 300 follower, I gave them a game off of their wish list on Steam.
Awesome.
Mhm. So basically, the little things like that, that's what I do at times. But then, of course, I did this last year in December for St. Jude's.
Ooh,
Yeah, which was a VTuber community Christmas party. For what I can remember, it's where people who are VTubers they post their pictures on there on the tier list I do, and I post where they go. Cause one I remember was who dresses up like the Secret Santa, who brings the food, who shows up late, etc., etc.
yeah.
And for what we did, we made about $105 for the very first time with this, which wasn't too bad. And like your friend says, it's just the little victories and the people who help out with your content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. But yes, and of course, this coming up month. going to be June. When April's over, oh, bleh. When April is over, then it's going to be in May, which I'm going to take a little hiatus break. But on the 3rd, I am going to be streaming and stuff to do another interview thing of talk, Quest to Light and stuff with another streamer and all that.
Ooh, excellent.
hmm But when that's
Should be
over,
exciting.
yeah, but when that's over on the 3rd, then you guys won't hear from me until the 1st of June.
Hmm.
And that's when I start my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I told you before our office stream, which was called the Trevor Project.
That does sound vaguely familiar, yes.
Yes, I'm going to be doing that in June for the young LGBTQ people.
Sounds lovely.
hmm It will be from 9:30 p.m. EST till 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, wow.
hmm So I'm trying to think of what games to play and stuff so everybody could join the community and help out too. Streamers,
Hmm.
non-streamers, whoever wants to join.
Sounds excellent.
hmm All right, I can ask one more question and we are going to take a few minute break after this last
Okay.
question. Okay,
Sounds good.
how do you think streaming has impacted your field?
How has streaming impacted my field? Like my day job kind of a deal?
Kind of, sort of, even if you have a daytime job or a nighttime job, kind of, sort of thing.
Okay, I'd say that how it's impacted my life outside of streaming is that it's helped me learn to kind of fill a space with my voice. I can be a bit of a talker sometimes. Sometimes I'm usually more than happy to just listen to someone else talk. But it's really helped me find my voice in kind of sharing my thoughts and feelings and taking something that someone else has said and kind of trying to like leapfrog off of it and kind of build up that point so we can have like more of a conversation. So it's kind of helped me more so as a conversationalist and being a little more bold in talking both about myself but also engaging and connecting with other people more than anything else. Um Usually don't talk to people about like the video editing kind of aspects of it, but usually I bring it up in smaller ways. Um yeah.
All right. And chat, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. If you need to get something to drink, something to eat, stretch your legs, got to use the dragon's room, we'll be right back shortly. All right, chat, we are back. All
Welcome back,
right.
everyone.
All right. I do have a question to ask. Have you,
Absolutely.
all right, do you plan on continuing streaming or becoming a VTuber in the near future for 2025?
For 2025, yes, I will have to say, uh, I have started my adventure, and I have no intentions of ending anytime soon.
And from what I looked, I got a new follower. Uh,
Ooh,
yep, let me see who it is first, because like I said, I don't know how it would make, you know what I mean. But Ron,
yes.
if I don't know how to finish it right, name right, yeah, it's okay if I call you Ron. But uh, hold on. Oh, and of course, I forgot to put that in front for a new follower. Let's hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. But yes, what was your friend's name that you pronounced?
Me?
Yeah, the Kuno was it?
Ah, yes, Kuakuno.
It's okay if I call them Kuno.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but that's up to them. I usually just refer to them as Kua.
All right, but Kua and Ron, Uh, I didn't see you guys there, but welcome to my channel. Please relax, pick up your feet, and enjoy watching a little halfling dragon here. Uh, do talk and broadcast with an interview of my dear friend Murph. But tell me, how'd you find me? But continue on when you were saying.
Yes. So yeah, I intend to continue streaming for a good time coming. There will always be stories to share, and I'm excited to continue doing that. I have no intentions of stopping, and I'm happy for 2025, 2026, 2027. We'll see, but I'm happy to keep going. Our journey has only just begun.
You're not wrong about that one. Hey, MacWolf, and welcome. Oh, we're just doing an interview called Quest to the Light. But yeah. Okay, what kind of games do you play or stream? And thank you guys for the
Okay.
welcome back.
So, as for games that I enjoy both on and off stream, so obviously I enjoy story games. That's what we'll be talking about a good bit tonight. So I'm not gonna rehash old news. But outside of enjoying story games, I'm also a big fan for Souls likes. I also really like board games and card games. Anything that really just brings people together.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, bit of a fantasy head. I used to play Skyrim, and then I started playing Dark Souls, and I was like, I can never go back. Dark Souls has ruined me. Uh, It's there was this one video I watched of I think Circle Tunes HD where he was talking about him getting late to the Dark Souls party, and then as a joke he threw a game on the ground and said, "Man, why can't Animal Crossing excite me the way Dark Souls does?" And I was like, "Man, I feel that. I feel that in my
Right?
soul, man." But yeah, big Souls like fan. Played most of the games except for Dark Souls 2. Um, I need to eventually get to 2 because even though it's from a different studio, it's part of the franchise. I should play it at some point. But yeah, card games, board games. I'm a big fan of Dokapon Kingdom, 100% Orange Juice. Any game where you can get some funny, silly trash talk going.
Right?
It's good stuff. But
Oh,
yeah, I generally enjoy. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
That's because yeah. Generally, I just enjoy different fantasy games. I've enjoyed the Mega Man Battle Network franchise. I've enjoyed Final Fantasy III, Crystal Chronicles, the entire Crystal Chronicles franchise, except for the one where you play as like a detective on the Wii. I never got that one, or the Life Sim games.
Murph,
Um,
I think you got a
yeah.
new friend. 'Cause Chat says,
Mmm, Draconis, you got the good taste? Mmm, that's what we like to hear. Mmm.
but yeah, of course for me, well, chat can confirm this. For me, when I just started streaming the first time and everything, the game I played was mostly 14 or what was it? I don't remember what else it was, but then I started playing 14 a lot and streaming it. That was my addiction. Then later, when one of my friends told me about Sea of Thieves, I thought, you know what? I'll look into it and see what I think of it, whatever. And Draco here, who is my witness, along with a few other chat members, can see how I'm addicted to Sea of Thieves.
Excellent.
So yeah, and oh my gosh, one of the streamers I follow, I told him I got into playing Sea of Thieves. They say, "Run, run, while you can, run."
It's too late for you.
I
It's
know.
got me.
Oh my goodness. The funny thing is, and I am not kidding about this or whatever, but when I first played Sea of Thieves, oh my god, one of our streamer friends, and I'm not kidding about this, but they did say something or whatever, and let's just say something did happen in the game of Sea of Thieves
Oh no.
twice.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And of course, I was allowed to drive the ship.
Oh, one of those Titanic moments, I see. Damn.
Yeah. And of course,
I guess you cannot be a Nami.
I was not paying attention, and of course we hit a rock, and they said, "Chai, you could have warned us." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I had an important message."
Oh my gosh.
But
You
yeah,
are literally the navigator.
funny thing is, my sister did fire me for being a navigator.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
How
See?
does that work?
Do you really want to know?
I feel like that's not even like a navigation thing. That's more of like just you bringing bad luck with you.
No,
What's
no, no,
going
no, no,
on?
no, 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 no. Let's put it this way: we were playing Sea
Okay.
of Thieves on my 1 year anniversary for me being a streamer when I started.
Yeah.
So I was going to do my lore video, or whatever, but let's just say we were having tech issues about that.
Mm.
So let's just say one of our friends saying, and the sea went black. And I asked, "Do you want to rise the sails or whatever?" And well, one of our good friends in chat was saying, "Why is the compass blinking?" And if you could hear in my voice, it says compass. And I wasn't thinking, like, what do you mean compass? I was trying to say compass flashing, but you could barely hear it. And I looked over to the side. And I'm like, uh oh, we got company.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh Chaya. Why?
I, I don't know
Why
what
did you let this happen,
I
Chaya?
didn't let it sink. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Uh,
It was one of her friends who was a pro at Sea of Thieves. I was still learning.
damn.
Yeah, and the bad part was when our good friend was out getting some of the stuff in the ocean, and I'm not kidding about this, then the meg appear.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's like, wow, how did this happen? Oh, hey, what was that for, cousin?
I think this is more of a past. The past is catching up to the future kind of thing.
Yes.
You must accept your karma.
But yeah, and oh my God, I do have this question to ask you. Do you have nicknames that your fellow warriors or adventurers call you at times, or your streamer friends?
Okay. So usually no. Usually most of them just call me Murph. I have had a couple of people call me Murphy. I count that.
Hmm.
but I have had 1, maybe 2 people call me by, the name Murmur before, and I think that's a cute one. But, yeah, usually it's just Murph.
You're gonna laugh at this story of how I got the nickname Chai.
Okay.
Okay, one of our good friends who Marmar. That's a new one.
Yeah. It's
Well, at least they didn't call you Murmur.
I true enough.
But yes, with the story of my nickname of Chai. Well, one of my good friends heard my laugh for the very first time and they were saying, "What the hell was that? What the hell was that?" And let's just say it sounded like an expression machine going off.
Ooh.
Hey, Plague, how are you? And welcome. But oh my goodness, it was so funny. And now I got another nickname. Well, quite a few. There's Chai, Shia, because I tend to be shy, Shy Bean, Sweet Tea Bean, don't ask. Uh,
Hmm.
what else was there? A Tea Gremlin, along with, what else? Jelly Bean sometimes.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think what else the other one was. Sweet Cup of Chai, Tea Dragon.
Huh.
Oh, ha ha, flame. Now, Teacup Dragon,
Hmm.
along with another new nickname, thanks to a certain friend who calls me this. Because, well, I didn't explain to you about the story about the tail situation, did I?
Uh, remind me. You might have.
Okay. You know that game that came out and people were doing it since Toei passed away March 8th, or was it
Uh,
March?
I, I think so.
Excuse me a second. But yeah, he was the creator of Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
and people were playing that Dragon Ball Z game with Goku, but with his alien name. Thank you.
Yes, Kakarot.
Hmm. But yeah, and we were at the part of the scene where our dear friend was playing that part of the game, and Goku is explaining to his son about fishing while using your tail. And guess what happened?
Oh. Oh no, what happened?
He's like, "Come here, try it. We're gonna use your tail for fishing." I'm like, "You're not using my tail. Come here."
Oh no.
Yes. And then later on, the joke progressed forwards, and I'm not kidding about this. And of course, our dear friend calls me now the emergency food. Really, cousin?
Hmm.
Yes, they call me an emergency food source.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. And cousin and even our other good friend agrees with it. I am not shark bait.
Ouch.
but
Gotta stay away from the water, friend. It's not safe.
I love being near the water. I really do.
I think that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Mm, why do you say it has to be a tough one?
I don't know. It's one of those things where chat's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's safe for you.
Oh my god. Okay. Next question. Would you like to share any challenging projects you have worked on?
Challenging projects that I have worked on.
Yes.
Okay. The big one I kind of already touched upon it before. Was uh getting a bunch of Kamifuda cards on a tabletop simulator on Untap, organizing that, making resources for people who want to, after playing the game on Steam, take their game to the next level, learn PvP, play against other players, trying to make a community for that niche within a niche kind of thing. Um So outside of that, challenge wise, that's previous, I can't say, generally speaking. Like, I haven't done a lot of big projects besides that one and my upcoming Perfect Draw project.
Oh, what's the upcoming project?
That is me hosting and streaming a game of Perfect Draw, which is the card game anime TTRPG.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Me too. I'm still trying to get a group going.
Right.
But I'm excited for it because once I get players going, I've familiarized myself with the world, the characters, and I want to make sure and have a good session zero and make sure that everyone's on the same page of okay, what kind of characters do you want to build? And once they have characters, and I can help insert them like into in a way that makes them feel important, gives them goals, then I
Right.
can start constructing how the story and the plot hooks kind of come together.
Huh.
Just a slight sneak peek into my process as a dungeon master.
Right, right. And it's going, Drake, uh, cousin.
Hmm.
I almost called him Draco. Whoops.
Close, close, but
Yeah,
not quite.
I know. Okay. If anybody in your community decides to be a streamer, how do you encourage them, like to motivate them to be a streamer? How would you do it?
Okay. How would I do
Ow!
that? Ooh, are you okay?
I just got punked in the head.
Oh man, at this point you might just need a helmet. How would I encourage them? So first off, I would encourage them to at least have a YouTube just to test their stream quality. Get in on that stream, give them feedback about their audio. That's a huge thing for streaming. I'd encourage them to try and figure out what they really want to stream, figure out what their brand is, because understanding branding is huge. It's kind of more on the serious side of things, but if you understand your
Ow!
branding, you understand your audience. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I got punked in the head again.
Oh.
I may be covered
Oof.
in scales, but they're not that hard on my head.
Yeah, in my experience, scales are mostly for slashing attacks, not blunt force trauma. But yeah, so I'd encourage them to um try a restricted YouTube stream just to check, you know, quality for their streams. Um Finding what their brand is, finding what their message, what their desire is as a streamer, figuring out why they want to be a streamer, what they want to do as a streamer, watching their content, giving feedback on what they enjoy or what they want to do, and just being there to help bounce ideas off of.
That is really smart. And
Well, thank you.
also, King, I don't trust you. When you give me head pats, I have a feeling I'm going to get bonked in the head soon.
It'll be when you least expect it. He's just going for the setup now. He's
True.
laid the trap.
Okay, how do you approach your decision? Like, if you're thinking about what game to play, what will be a good time and day, how do you make the approach of your decision with that?
Oh, okay. So for decisions concerning my content and my streaming, I try to think about what stories we've seen so far. What is a good narrative through line? For example, this is just an example of one way I might make a decision. Last year, we finished the Mega Man Star Force trilogy.
Ooh,
It was a very long series of games for the better half of a year. And the story focused on a young kid overcoming and learning to come to terms with the loss of his father figure in his life.
huh.
Um, yeah, it was a very, very tough emotional game, and we came out the other side of that. Um, but the game series we played before that was Celeste, and it ended on a note that felt in some way connected to the sort of stories and themes of the Star Force series. So I was like, okay, we've played Celeste, we've played through the game. the game ended on this note. And it was a good note, but I was like, okay, what is something that we can bounce off of for people who join me for these streams on this night, have had that adventure, and want to continue with a new game that is both different but also somewhat similar, something that gives them that sense of not just consistency but progression. So I chose the Star Force series, being very familiar with it and thinking, okay, there's sort of a connective tissue here. But outside of that, trying to find connections and draw those parallels and conclusions. I also ask for like polls in my community, try to get an idea of what content my viewers want me to play. Out of a list of games that I'm interested in or that they've suggested to me that I have to trust that they feel like, okay, this is what you've been playing, Murph. Well, I think you'd enjoy this here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's give that a try. Let's see where it's going. Cause sometimes they take me for a ride and it's been really cool with the games I've been trying. Right now I've been playing only games given to me by suggestion. I've been really enjoying them.
Hmm. Well, for myself, I try to get games that can involve with my community or something I may enjoy. If it's something I enjoy, I may stream it again. And if I don't enjoy it, then I'll be honest with them saying, "Hey, I gave this I gave this game a try. It wasn't my cup of tea, but maybe in the future, if it gets a little bit better with more content or what's ever going on, then maybe I could give it one last try."
Absolutely. And you shouldn't force it.
Hmm. But yet,
Yeah, a big thing
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, a big thing as a streamer is understanding where to set that boundaries because if you're not having a good time, your audience isn't generally gonna have a good time. Unless maybe you're like a horror streamer and people like your scared reactions or you're a rage streamer. That's a different that's a different can of worms entirely. But generally, if you're not having a good time, your audience isn't gonna have a good time. It's not gonna be fun.
Right. And for myself, chat and some of my dear friends say I give off a warm, welcoming, bubbly vibe, a little bit of chaos here, along with my cappuccino or my car won't start laugh. But yet people seem to really
Mm,
enjoy that, along seeing me get scared and stuff.
excellent.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And knowing to capture and keep those comfy vibes is really important and helps endear you to your audience and gives them a place where they feel safe.
Right. And is there any games you're planning on playing in the near future if you're still streaming?
Yes. So for games that I intend to play in the near future, I absolutely want to play the original Undertale, and Deltarune when that game finally does, fingers crossed, come out. Um, I want to play the Elden Ring DLC. That's I know I haven't streamed Elden Ring, but I want to do the DLC. Mm, I love me some Elden Ring.
And we got a care
Um,
package. We got to stretch and
ooh,
hydrate.
all good. Take your time.
You have to do it too.
All right, you got it. Chat knows best.
Yes, they do. And that's why I redeemed it for the stretch and hut. Well, for the care package to make sure we're taking care of ourselves.
Yup. Otherwise, we can't stream.
That is true. That is true. Hmm. All right, chat. Do you have any questions for our dear friend here? You're more than welcome to ask, but don't forget to hit that redeem point.
Absolutely. I'm excited for anyone's questions if they have any.
Draco. Chat says, "Holy, Chaya didn't make sus voices while stretching."
Yeah, I don't know what Draco's talking about. I didn't hear anything. You okay there? You sure you don't need another hydrate there? Damn, maybe you should take the keys out of the car. It doesn't sound like it's starting. Sorry. Hope you're okay.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
It's
I
okay. Get out of
promise.
your system. Oh, damn, and then Wolf jumps in. Breathe it out. Just breathe it out.
I'm trying.
All good. Take your time.
At least you're not like my last interviewer that I interviewed.
Oh no.
Let's just say I asked what you call your community, and they said they call them food. I'm like, why food?
Oh no.
Oh yes.
That's horrifying. That's might as well just call them cupcakes at that point. Just scarf them down. Yikes.
Damn it. You guys are trying to kill me here, aren't you?
It is the secret assassination attempt.
Yeah, this is my third interview?
Damn.
Oh my god.
Whew.
So now you know what my laugh sounds like.
It's good.
And of course, I have this routine thing where when I growl, oh, I did forget to mention to you. When I growl, one of my friends says, Perry the platypus, or whatever. And this is true, but one of my other dear friends did say, it is platypus like, but yet also like an angry slice of pie. I'm thinking, how can pie be angry?
That is a very strange question. The real question is how would they know that?
Right? It's like, how can a pie be angry unless you put some spice in it? It's a question.
But like, does that mean can they speak to pies? I have so many questions now.
I don't know. This is your problem now.
I guess so. I'm just gonna be up at night thinking, how do people talk to pie?
You should make that.
Gonna be the pie whisperer on CNN later. Jeez. Oh, do they? Oh my gosh, it all makes sense. Oh, it all makes sense now. That explains so much of Brennan's campaign. For those who have watched, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh my god.
There was like a Candyland-esque campaign. Oh man, don't trust the cake or the pie.
Unless you're a mimic.
Especially not if they're a mimic.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my, that is too perfect. That was too perfect.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my god. I'm like thinking, how can a pie be angry? Unless you put it in the oven for too long and it's like angry as only the gods know.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. But like I said, if you add like a little seasoning spice. Oh my god. No, mimics are not
Wowie.
great pets. Oh my god.
I'm not sure you'd want one, but it's
No, trust me. I already got a little pet, but except it's not a pet, it's a mascot. And we still don't have a name for the little buddy, even though chat, a certain one in here wants to name it Squibby.
Ah yes, the rise of the famed Squimby.
And I'm like, why Squibby? Why?
But the truth is, why not Squimby? See, I have been converted to the cult of Squimb.
I think you and my dear friends will get along so well.
I should hope so.
Right.
It will be Squimby. Let the squimbening commence.
God.
Jokes aside, though, whatever they're ending up being called, I'm excited. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God. Okay, we'll probably do one last question and then end the stream because we are 1 hour and 36 minutes. But if you want to keep going on, it's up to you, Murph.
okay. Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, one last question. Oh, what's the
Okay.
most valuable lessons you learned from a streamer you followed or watched when they were streaming?
Most valuable lessons I've learned from my fellow streamers. That's a hard one. I'd say don't worry about your viewer count. Don't um don't stress about it. Just try to focus on enjoying your time on stream, and especially when you're collaborating. Don't focus on, yes, you want to engage with chat, but the number one person to engage with is your collab partner. That is
Or
because it
partners?
affects, yeah, it affects their experience. It affects if they want to even collaborate with you again, because you want to make sure that they have a good time. Because if you're both having a good time, everyone else is going to have a good time too. You can't exclude them. That's not fair.
Right?
Um, yeah, I'd say absolutely just be a good collab partner. Um, and just try to relax and enjoy your stream. Don't worry about it too much because your viewers will notice. They will recognize that you're a little more anxious, you're a little more nervous because people are like that. We're keen on each other's signals. We're like radios.
Right. And sometimes people who are very, very close that known each other for a year maybe or two or more, then you get that signal, like you said, a radio signal. Basically, one person knows what's going on, and the other one can sense what's going on with their other friend as well if they're both streaming.
Yeah.
And let's just say, from what I learned from my fellow streamers that I followed and known for quite a while, they
Yeah.
said the same thing like you said. Do not worry about the follower count and do not worry about what's going on. Just do the best you can do with your content.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because let me put it this way. Last time when I had one friend in here, and I'm not going to mention names, it was a community night, and of course they said, "Hey, Chai, you have such and such viewers." I'm like, "Please do not say that out loud. Please do not. I don't care about the viewers. I just care about my community, my friends who I'm collabing with, all that kind of stuff."
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm sure it came from a place of like concern, like you letting you know. But it is one of those things where it can be hard to separate that and not get in your own head because when you look at that, you get nervous naturally.
Right.
You start to second guess, yeah, what you're doing.
Hmm. And the other made big thing is if someone raids you and you see how many followers you have or whatever, just do your greeting or whatever. Like for my greeting, when people raid me and they have a certain amount of numbers, I'm not saying what, but sometimes they'll be in the low digits or close to the double digits or higher, whichever. I just do what I do when I get rated. I just say, "Hello there, my name is Shy Halfling Dragon. I come from Ishgard. It's really great to meet each and everyone. Meet each and every one of you. Hope your quest has been amazing as mine."
That's awesome.
Hmm.
It's important to keep an even tone there.
Right. And of course, with some people who rated a certain person or another streamer who is like a dragon, a bat, or a Makote, whichever.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that a good friend of mine did post this and say, if you have this person who rated you and they say, oh, it's just me, enjoy my view, don't say that. Do not say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically, if that person rated this one person and they only had a certain amount of viewers, just a little bit or whatever, hey, it's still your first time becoming a streamer. Do not say, oh, it's just me, enjoy my view. No, all you have to do is just answer the questions with the streamer or the streamers, depending on who you rate and stuff. If they say, hey, how was the stream? How was everything? What did you do? Be honest with them.
Yeah.
And when I rate somebody and they ask me what I was streaming, how was the game, I tell them the truth.
Yeah.
And
It's important to be genuine.
right, even if you're just, say for example, if someone rated me and they had one viewer or two, like I said before, I do my raid message. And of course,
Yeah.
if I rate somebody who is, and for me, I'm still getting used to this of huge crowds because of my social anxiety, but I used to go for the people who I known and trust for so long with a certain amount of numbers. I do look at their numbers and all, but yeah, I'm like, okay, I can take them over there and stuff because I
Yeah.
trust this person. So,
That makes sense. It's important to just treat them as a person.
right. You don't treat them like a celebrity or anything. And even if they do become a celebrity in the future, treat them like how you want to be treated. Just be yourself.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and when you rate somebody, how do you do your rate message and all that stuff? Hi, Ace.
Well, the thing is for me personally, and this is something that I need to get better at. I'm not as ingrained in Twitch culture. I kind of came from YouTube. Um I only really got into Twitch when I learned that this was the place people streamed, and when I learned that this is where people tend to stream and this is where people build communities. I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this. Um, so when I got into streaming on Twitch, what happened was I will raid other friends and try to find new people, but usually I don't really have like a raid message. I just kind of like have everyone slip in, we say hi, but I don't really want to, and this might just be a me thing. I'm concerned about interrupting the action and making the person feel like they have to call us out and say, "Oh, thank you so much for rating," because I my goal when rating or bringing my fireflies over is bringing them to content that I hope that they will enjoy and getting to
Right?
know another streamer. Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt the action there because that's what their community is enjoying. And while it's very I greatly appreciate them taking the time to appreciate us coming over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to inherently I don't want I worry about damaging their content for the viewers who are current like when they're in the middle of something.
Right? But yet, sometimes the streamer will basically say, hold on, I'll give you a shout out a moment, or they have the mod shout you out because of the people they
Absolutely.
know and trust.
Yeah.
And of course, when I rate somebody, I usually do the thing I didn't know what to think of at first. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to send them some dragon love since I am
Yeah.
half dragon and half human.
That makes sense.
hmm And I rated a couple of people. And guess what? The ones I known for so long, about a year and 4 months or five, I don't remember which. But yeah,
Mm.
when I rated them, a couple of streamers call me their favorite little halfling. Oh, and there we go. Hi, Draco, and
There it is.
welcome. Hello there, my name is Chai Halfling Dragon. I come from Ishgard. It's really great to meet each and every one of you. Hope your quest has been amazing as mine. Give me a second, Draco. I will give you a shout out. So, Draco, tell me, what were you playing? Oh, you're playing tabletop RPG. We were talking about that not so long ago.
Oh, and a hydrate. Okay,
Ooh,
we'll do the hydrate as well.
nice. fatality raid.
Fatality. I
So
know
is
where that's from.
fatality the name of the system?
No, Fatality Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
hmm You know how in Mortal Kombat
Alrighty.
they say finish him
Yeah,
or finish her?
that makes sense.
Yeah, and like Friendality. But yeah, and of course, Draco, not you, Draconis, but Nick, if you need to get some rest, something to eat, whatsoever, you're more than welcome to. And don't worry, I will keep your warriors and adventurers at bay. They're in safe hands.
Good stuff, good stuff. But yes, welcome, relax, make yourselves at home.
hmm But yes, let's see. But anyways, chat, I would raise somebody, and like I said, Draco Nick, thank you for the raid. But again, if you need to get something to eat, something to rest, if you have to raid and run, do not worry. Your warriors and adventurers are in safe hands with me.
Mm.
Flame, put the link down. Put the link down.
But what if they don't want to?
Seven hells, what am I going to do with them? Yeah, and here's a funny
Uh,
thing. Here is a funny thing. Every time when I say seven hells, and of course Draconis right here, who I call Draco, would say, there are nine. I'm like, seven, nines. It's like, and one of our other friends said, you know what? 7 and 14, 9 and D&D. There.
it's true. But
Yeah.
what if we just went halvesies? What if we just screwed everybody up and went 8?
Take, put the leg down. Put the leg down. Seven hells.
Wowee. Does
Yeah.
that mean there are like 7 heavens or spheres in 14 or
Oh, funny thing is, in 14, there are like, people would say, fake the 12s or whatsoever.
okay.
See
Huh.
what I mean?
Yeah, there's a bit of discourse everywhere with this.
Right?
Go with 8 and it's just make everybody unhappy.
Yeah. Draco hates it when I call him this nickname. You want to know what it is?
What?
He is a gobber.
Ooh, that's like a goblin, but that's like a jobber. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that stings.
No, basically like a goblin or a goober combined.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, that
Yikes.
is not a thing.
That's like in the same ring of hell as like calling someone scrungly. That's like you never want to hear that. You never want to be called scrungly.
Oh my god. Oh god. But yeah. Since we got raided by a good friend of mine, Draco Nick, I guess we could probably raid somebody since we've been streaming for what, almost 2 hours. But how are you feeling, Murph?
I'm feeling great. Thank you all so much for having me. Thank you so much, Chaya, for having me on this on this quest to the light. It's been a lovely time. And yeah, this has been great.
It has been great. But thank you again, Murph, for joining me. And maybe next time in the near future, we could do this again if you like.
I'd be more than happy to.
All right. Hey. All right.
Just make sure it's one of the 7 hells.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and mute and deafen myself, and I will see you later on. All right.
Till next time.
I'll be back. All right, chat. Since we got rated, we're going to go ahead and rate somebody. Let's see who is streaming right now. Hmm. You know what? How do we raid Fia? They're playing Among Us. How would you guys feel about raiding a goblin? Would you guys like that? Or we could go raid. Who else is there to raid? Give me a second. Or we could raid somebody like Andy Knight, who is playing Helldivers, too. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and raid a knight. Would you guys be okay with that, raiding a knight? But like I said, they are doing Helldivers, and it looks like a collab is going on. All right, we're going to go ahead and raid them, and this is my first time raiding them, to be honest. But yes, we're going to go ahead and raid the knight, and don't tell them we're coming. But here is the first raid message if you're not subscribed to me. And give me a second. And here is the second raid message if you are. But I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me with this. So, my dear friends, we will continue our story, and may the light be with you. Goodbye.